Welcome back to Talkville, folks. We got Ryan Tejas, we got Tom Welling, we got Bryce undercover. Doesn't show his face, probably changing some diapers. This is the ultimate rewatch, Smallville rewatch, whatever you want to call it. And you know what we do here. We're already at episode 15, guys, season 5. And I'm starting to have nightmares. I'm starting to have night sweats because I'm thinking about when season 7 ends that I have to do the next 3 seasons, and I'm not in any of them.
Are we halfway through the whole series?
Oh, we're past that.
Are we?
Yeah, we're almost done with season 5. So we're halfway after season 5.
Oh, that makes sense.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be rough, Ryan. It's going to be rough.
That's why I gave away my 3 roses this season. Gave a couple 3 roses. I mean, we all did.
What did you give 3 roses to?
I think we gave it to Reckoning and Lexmas.
You're all out of roses. You're all out of roses.
I knew we'd peaked.
We couldn't do this show without you, the patrons. And if you're listening, you love this show and you want it to continue like next season, it's important and helpful if you join Patreon and give back to the show. Anything helps. Patreon.com/Talkville. You get your name shouted out every episode and so many other perks, but you're really helping the show and you get enjoyment and we get enjoyment and we want to keep doing this. So, so much to talk about. Tom's got a movie,
Mafia Wars.
Wars. And so that's exciting. So make sure you watch that and support him. I got my book, The Talented Farter, comes out October 22nd. Pre-order it on Amazon. It's a fart book, sound book. It's very funny. Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath for your dog's breath. Get that. That's my product. And my pictures on the thing with my dogs. TalkvillePodcast.com if you want to get sweet merch. I mean, sweet, like, damn, who's that? And a lot of others. And we got to plug our buddy, what's his name, Bryce, for the posters, Mike?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Mike Posters.
Mike has these beautiful posters for the 100th anniversary, and you could order them at talkvillepodcast.com. Am I right, Bryce?
Yeah, it's either talkvillepodcast.com or just head to the show description.
It is. They are unbelievable, Tom. Have you seen these posters yet?
Yeah, I just saw one the other day that we shared, and I got to tell you what, when we're at these cons, we meet people, the death of Jonathan Kent is brought up so often by people who are fans of the show.
Yeah.
And this poster, I'm not even joking, gave me chills the second I saw it, but he nailed it.
Support him, follow him on Instagram, and hopefully he'll send me a bunch of posters.
His handle is at Mike Posters.
At Mike Posters. Follow him. Check out he does Smallville posters for every episode.
I would like to think that his name was already Posters, and he thought, I might as well lean into this.
His actually last name is
it's definitely
Post.
not Posters.
It's Mike Post.
It's not his real name.
Without further ado, let's get into season 5, episode 15. This is CYBORG. All right, CYBORG aired February 15th, 2006. Glenn Winter, our dear friend, directed it. He's also a wonderful DP and a director. This is his first episode he's directed of Smallville. Writer is Caroline Dries, first episode. Guest star Lee Thompson Young is Victor Stone. He was in Friday Night Lights. He passed away. Wow. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Christy Lang as Catherine Goodwin and Mackenzie Gray as Dr. Alistar Krieg. When Clark has a super reunion with an old high school rival, he uncovers more questionable Luthor Corp testing and must fight to save a new bionic friend. Immediately when I saw, it's called CYBORG, I thought, oh, shit. It's going to be a freak of the week. But there were some surprises. And I got to say, Lee Thompson Young was not only great to work with. I had one scene with him, and I loved the time I had with him. He passed away.
Yeah.
And he passed away in 2013. And it really makes me sad because, he was a really talented actor and such a good person. And you never know what happens and where people go in their mind. And it was tragic. It was a tragic loss.
It was also, I don't know if this is worth saying, such a surprise to hear, because being around him as much as I was just on a TV show, he was so calm and collected and seemed to like I felt Clark looking up to him even. And so you never know, like you said, what people go through, but it seems such a surprise.
So poised. So,
poised.
Fun to watch on screen. Like he so much presence. He reminds me of like a Denzel Washington or something. There's just this innate, I don't know. There's something about him that I just was drawn to. So,
he was on, I knew him as, he was like a Disney Channel star first.
Yeah.
The famous
really?
Jet Jackson.
Yeah.
So he had been on sets a long time.
Yeah. And then Friday Night Lights, the movie, which is one of my favorites of all time.
Great show. One of the best shows.
The show turned into the best show ever. But yeah, I remember him from that too. And yeah, he was great.
He was money.
Yeah.
The episode opens in a bright laboratory as we see Dr. Hong inject a tied-up test subject, Victor Stone, before breaking him out in a sudden act to clear his conscience. Victor makes his escape out of the storage container facility and unknowingly delivers more CTE. What's that?
It's concussions and brain stuff.
Oh, to Lana Lang as she tries to enjoy a peaceful moment with a latte and in turn gets her car totaled when she runs into the super test subject. Yeah, that's the first thing I said was Lana in a car crash, Lana a head injury. I mean, can't they come up with something? Don't you think in the writer's room they're like, guys, give Chloe a concussion. All right? Let's go.
times.
Let's give someone else a concussion. Let's leave Lana alone for a few episodes. But no. It's either me or Lana.
We found out later why. She needs to have that cross with him to feel for him and his lost love and not being able to be honest with her. You know, these are final thoughts first, people. That's what we're going to call this now.
Instead of punching her card at Smallville Med, Lana checks into Metropolis General Hospital and is confused on how she could hit Victor and he be unharmed.
Back in Smallville, Martha is reading her news of taking political office when she receives a mysterious package. Inside is a high-tech digital video disc player with footage of Clark using his powers. Let the blackmail begin.
Now, wait a minute. I actually thought this was really cute. I remember flying up to Smallville, and when we started, there weren't really like movies on planes and stuff. And they came out with those portable DVD players.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys remember those? And
I
they look like that. And I remember getting one and feeling like, whoa. And I used to like watch movies on airplanes. And when I saw this, I was like, I think that's the exact same one I was using.
Dude, I'm not kidding. In my closet, I have 4. I have 4 little mini DVD players.
I believe.
Are they worth anything?
I don't know. I mean, it's like VHS is coming back around.
No.
Price. No. By the way, in actuality, if a candidate dies, I don't think the position goes to their spouse, right? I mean, what happened there?
No, that's like medieval stuff.
Yeah, so why is she the senator?
She's got name recognition at the time. They probably just
ran a short
campaign.
Yeah.
Voting day's coming up. They use the name recognition. But I do think when we give away the Smallville DVDs at Smallville Nights, we could give away those DVD players and get them off your hands.
Why would I want to do that? I like them. They're classic. There's some good. I mean, maybe I will. Maybe one of them will go to first place. It'll be a DVD set and
that would
player.
be funny.
That could be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Lana calls Clark to tell him about Oliver Stone and the freak occurrence of their rendezvous earlier that day.
Clark tracks him down, and Victor tries writing off the power to milk. It does the body good. After they realize that they both have shared history in Kansas high school football, they realize that they now share similar super compositions as Clark breaches privacy by X-raying Victor right in front of him.
But see, this is where I think he's a really great actor. He could have just easily been the freak of the week and be like, get away from me, you freak.
Yeah.
You don't know me. But there was
complex
camaraderie, like you said.
There's something.
There's
something else going on. There wasn't just one note with him.
Speaking of privacy, Lionel Luthor stops by the Kent home, interrupting Martha's call with a mystery person.
Is that Seinfeld? What is the deal?
It's somewhere between Brockmire and Seinfeld. I'm not sure what. Martha's call with a mystery person trying to blackmail her for the footage. Lionel notices her acting strange and offers his help with anything she may need.
Now, come on here. Come on. He sees an envelope and goes, she must be getting blackmailed.
Well, because he did it.
He's behind it, the whole thing.
He's not.
He is. He made her think she was being blackmailed.
He's the one that... Oh, I didn't get that.
Psychological
he's
manipulation.
not blackmailing her, right?
I didn't think so.
He was making her...
You think he legitimately gets the video at the end and then goes, oh, I see.
No. He's not blackmailing her.
He already had the video. He had another copy of it.
No, he didn't, because he was watching it at the end for the first time.
He bought it off the guy.
I think he what he did was he went to the guy and said, I'll give you double the money and you stay away and give me that. And then he got it. So he said, I took care of it. I didn't watch it, but he did watch it.
Somebody please tell us what's happening. They'll tell us. The fans will let us know if we're right.
Let's call Al.
Talk about Cyborg?
If Al knows the answers to this question, this is the biggest deep cut.
I thought it was like a deep make her think she's being blackmailed so that she can be in my pocket comfortably.
I can only imagine how many people watching this, if we were at a party, they'd want to leave.
Al.
Michael.
How are you, Al? You're on the air with Tom, Michael, Bryce, and Ryan. Talkville is brought to you by AG1. We talk about this all the time, and we love it. Just think, in the morning, you could start a healthy routine, because a lot of people are like, I just don't want to exercise. I just don't want to. Well, if you're going to do nothing, start with AG1. That's going to help you get into a good routine. A good routine is taking all your vitamins and the minerals and things you need in one glass. You put a little powder in it, you mix it up, it tastes delicious, and you've got everything in 60 seconds. And that's going to give you a sense of fulfillment, and you're going to start feeling better. You get your daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre and probiotics, adaptogens, and more. And that's why Tom and I here have been taking it for years. Tom?
I mean, listen, we do a lot of cons together. We have people come up to our table and be like, you know what? I did check out AG1 and I feel better. Like it's a real thing. We have spoken to people who've tried it and they get it, especially our friends from Jersey. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and AG1 is the first thing I take in the morning. And I feel like I don't even need coffee, and I don't get that crash that coffee gives me.
Yeah.
And I also know that it's giving my body the nutrient support it needs to power through the day. It's pretty incredible. AG1's research study says 80% of participants notice less gas and bloating after 30 days of drinking AG1. And, my friends love hearing that and not hearing that, if you know what I mean. In a recent AG1 research study, AG1 was shown to double the amount of healthy bacteria in the gut. These healthy bacteria work together to help break down food and are known to help alleviate bloating, help promote digestive regularity, and help aid in digestive comfort long term.
AG1 has all non-GMO ingredients and contains no added sugar.
So start with AG1 and notice the difference for yourself. Remember, it's so easy. It's a glass in the morning of water mixed in with AG1. That's it. No more taking all these vitamins and minerals and things. It's just in a glass that's delicious. So again, start with AG1 and notice the difference for yourself. It's a great first step to investing in your health, and that's why we've been a proud partner for so long.
It's also so easy and it tastes good.
Try AG1 and get a free bottle of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/talkville. That's a $48 value for free if you go to drinkag1.com/talkville. Check it out. Hey, congratulations on Beetlejuice. I saw it. I texted you right after. I loved it. Everybody go see it. Go see it. It's a lot of freaking fun. It really is. I was surprised. I hate everything. And I was really entertained. The movie isn't too long. It didn't feel too long. The ending was great, which endings are never great. Third acts always fall apart. So kudos to you and Miles. Put me in something. All right, listen. CYBORG. We're on CYBORG.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So my theory is Lionel wasn't behind the original Blackmail, but he paid off the guy and then watched the DVD, or did he set up the whole Blackmail?
Oh my God, you just dropped me into a game show.
I don't think so. I think because Martha Kent has an envelope, she sees this DVD with Clark's superpower, and then Lionel gets involved, and then at the end he pays off the guy and says, stay away from her, and takes the thing. And she goes, you didn't watch that, did you? And of course he watched the tape.
Oh,
And he says, hello, Kal-El.
Yes.
Right, but he wasn't behind the original Blackmail, right?
No, he was not behind
Ha!
the Blackmail.
I knew it.
No.
I knew it. This is how did you feel about CYBORG?
Is this the one? Oh my God, is this who we meet
With Lee Thompson Young, Victor Stone, who passed away? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I really liked it because, again, I think what we certainly did after the 100th episode is it was kind of, we wanted to introduce, we could dip into the DC toy box a little bit more. I thought we were always very restrained. Like, we never really did it more than once a season. And I think with season 5, again, because initially we thought we got to go for broke because this could be the last season. We wanted to introduce some new elements going forward post the 100th episode to show that, the show is going to start slowly, integrating with the DC universe. Obviously, you've seen Aquaman, you've seen The Flash, now you see Cyborg. Next season, you're going to see Green Arrow. You get to the Justice episode, so it's just like it's just sort of putting
building. It's a starting building blocks to what's going to happen.
To what's going to come, and to be honest, what was able, I think, give the show longevity in the second 100+ episodes.
Al, I was kind of upset that like Lex was behind that, like because he's getting evil. Like all of a sudden he's getting evil, and I'm like, wow.
Well, it's been 100 episodes, Mike.
No, I know.
Thank you, Al.
I know it's time.
Again, you're starting. We're getting into a bigger. It's a bigger world. We're getting certainly more Metropolis focused.
But isn't that funny? Isn't that funny that all I wanted to do by season 3, it's like, okay, come on, let's get the evil out a little bit now. And it's like I'm on season 5 near the end, and I'm like, why do you have to get evil? I guess because I was watching it for the first time, really, I'm sort of like, I like Lex. Oh man, that's bad.
You're seeing how,
He's
seeing how it adds
guy.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, but I had some fun with this, and the relationship with Lionel trying to creep in and perv out on Mrs. Kent. Was that always your intention to sort of have this like relationship that people were like a little, irked by?
Yeah. I mean, I think part of it too with Lionel is he always, Martha was some sort of unattainable, person that he could never get. And now obviously Jonathan's out of the picture. He has, I think his feelings for Martha are genuine, and he kind of represents, the whole idea with Martha in our conception was that she's from the big city. She gave it all up to move to a small town and be with the man she loved. Which is really loosely based. My mother did that. She grew up in Baltimore and left and went to a small town in Southern Maryland. So it's like, I think he represents the life she could have had, or still in some point, in some part of her still wants. You know what I mean? She's very smart. She's very capable. She's more than a farmer's wife. How did she become senator? When Jonathan dies, she becomes senator. I don't think that's how. We actually researched that, believe it or not. But and I think what it is, if the husband dies, or not even the husband, if the spouse dies, I think the other can step in. I think there's a special election. I remember we actually did do some research on that. Oh wow! To make sure that is there a way for this to happen? And there is, because he was elected. So then what happens is the governor appoints a person, and then she would have to run in the next election. And I think that's what it was. And it's happened in the past where the spouse has then stepped into the position, and then she'd have to run. Right. In a special I guess the last question I want to ask you is, Jonathan would roll over in his grave, and Martha knows this, that she's even entertaining this relationship with Lionel. I mean, obviously she's fighting that, but it's a little uncomfortable, right? But you know what? Grief is weird, and she's catching her in a very vulnerable situation. You know what I mean? Taking advantage. So he's taking advantage of a vulnerable situation, and I don't think she can be held all completely responsible for her actions at this point emotionally. Well, you know what I mean? Like
you guys also put her in a unique situation, being so vulnerable, then getting that video to protect what could be her son, quadruples that vulnerability. Yes. So she's juggling. She needs help. Yeah, she needs help. True. She does need help.
Yeah. I think she, it's a lot. She's literally had, and sort of, with Jonathan dying, I mean, that's like a, massive bomb going off in the middle of your life. So, so I think, and again, Annette's great. That's the thing. We had an actress who could do it. You know what I mean? She's so good. And she makes everything feel very grounded.
She amplifies it all. Yeah. Well, listen. Go ahead.
In a heightened world, no, I was just saying, in a heightened world, like to be able to do that. I mean, she's fantastic. She's a fantastic actress.
Well, you're a fantastic person, and we really appreciate your insight. No, seriously, thank you. It's always nice. I love that you answer my calls. You guys are getting bigger than God, and in the entertainment industry, and you deserve it. You work so hard, and more success to you, and all my love, and we'll keep harassing you.
Excellent. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you, Al.
Well, Clark heads back home and talks with Victor in his loft. He learns about his tragic car crash and his football career. Victor questions Clark is bionic. He says, no, just kryptonic. Not only that, but Victor learns that the unfortunate reality about having to hide his powers from his loved one, Catherine, just like Lana. Very similar path here.
Clark goes to Chloe to help get Syntechnics off of Victor's case after rating him on a scale from 1 to Tay Diggs. They begin getting down to work and learning that Luthor Corp owns Syntechnics.
Clark heads straight to Lex's Fortress of Solitude, interrupts him. He's sitting at a fireside in his office, and I like this is like Lex tries playing dumb to having knowledge of Syntechnics or Victor Stone, but Clark continues pushing the issue. Lex tells Clark he's a pain in the ass and that he will rectify the issue with a staff.
That was a great scene.
Yeah, it was.
I believed both parties.
Yeah, I really these scenes are kind of like he's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, yeah, all right, you gonna jump to this? All right, we want to jump with the accusations, or you want to just want to have some friendly talk for it? Okay, what do you want to know? Oh, here we go. And he's just kind of, I'd love for him to say, you know what, Clark, you're no longer welcome in Luthor Corp. I'm getting better security.
It's also rude.
It's really rude.
It's just rude.
It's abrupt.
Lana heads back to Kent Farm to meet up with Victor for some reason. While there, she tips him off on the Luthor involvement, but then goes on to defend Lex in some sort of Stockholm Syndrome-like reaction. Ironically, Lana talks to Victor about his relationship with Catherine and needing to be honest with her about his powers.
Before Victor can leave, he gets shot in the shoulder by Syntechnicians who are on a mission to get their test subject back. While doing so, Lana gets sucker punched for a second time this episode. Yeah, come on, the dude punches a girl. Luckily, Clark arrives to save the day before they can take the leaky Tin Man away, and they take Victor back to the town loft to hide out because that's where where everybody is.
Well, they just weren't
Lex
paying,
would never check there.
Well, they just weren't paying Erica Durance for this episode.
He rips apart his arm, exposing his bionics and power cell, to which Lana and Clark react normally and don't get totally freaked out.
Well, that's kind of I think they're alluding to, because I think Bryce mentioned this is like the first time seeing Cyborg in live action on screen, but like his thing is like having like a big old bionic arm. And so I think
I thought it was really cool
effects.
To that. It was really cool effects. They did a good job.
Yeah.
I really hope that I've said this before about our writers, that I hope they don't watch this and listen to us make fun of them when they were trying so hard to just get their jobs done. And then I just like about Jay Merchant and Scott, our line producers. And they must be like, guys, what did you want us to do? Like we can only move the production so many times through an episode.
Yeah.
Give us a break.
Jeez.
Love you guys.
Clark enlists Chloe's help to track down Syntechnics' Dr. Hong. Even though they weren't wrong, they waited too long. That's a lot of rhyming, Bryce. As Clark arrives to find Hong dead in his car, his garage. From the shadows behind
Clark. He was
Clark,
hung dead? Oh, Hong dead.
Hong. His last name is Hong.
I thought you meant hung, like he was hung.
No, they found Dr. Hong. They weren't wrong, but they waited too long.
As Hong died.
And now he's gone.
From the shadows behind Clark, Lex appears and makes himself more suspicious. Lex says that Hong was a whistleblower and likely the target of a rogue higher-up Dr. Alistair Krieg. He then goes on a plead for Clark to return Victor so that Lex can help save his life and shelter him from Krieg.
News gets back to Lana and Victor about Hong's death. Victor gets emotional and thinks his time is running out, so he desperately limps out of the Talon to reunite with Catherine. He makes a smooth and subtle entrance into her house, only to find Dr. Krieg waiting for him inside.
Hello, Victor.
Victor offers himself up to return to the lab in in return for Catherine's safety.
We're going to save you, Victor.
Not really. As he leaves, Lex emerges from the shadows again, exposing that he is indeed full bad guy and working in cahoots with the rogue
That
doctor.
was pretty cool. That was like, oh, wow. He's there.
The bad scientist guy reminded me of the psychiatrist we saw a couple episodes ago with the turtleneck.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was an odd looking fellow.
It wasn't as stylish.
He just was kind of
He needed a
in a
turtleneck.
good way. Like he was just weird.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, he was creepy. Back in Martha's world, we see her walking the streets of Metropolis with a briefcase full of cash for some reason. Before she can complete the we know the reason.
Mm-hmm.
Before she can complete the drop, Lionel blows the lid off the whole operation by driving in and scaring off the mystery man. Lionel gives him his advice on how to handle blackmail and then offers his services in making the problem go away. Ironic, as this is likely Lionel's way of blackmailing Martha. Obviously, because that's what happens. Now that Victor is back home from home in Syntechnics, his arm is fully recovered. Lex pays a visit to his kidnapped test subject and preps him for the next step in his recovery, a bionic lobotomy. And I like this scene with me and him. That was kind of cool, wasn't it?
It's you did it again. It's the same thing you did in Aqua, where there's the new hero strapped to a table, and now here you are being evil to him.
Mm-hmm.
Same shit again.
Yep,
Well,
Lex Luthor.
evil because he's trying to help him,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Lex Luthor truly is Elon Musk. Neuralink.
Your portrayal of Lex Luthor completely anticipated what we're going through now with people like Elon and all these other damaged tech bro millionaires who have all the money and all the power, and they just want to be cool and liked, and they will destroy the world if they're not. And the parallels between that portrayal and you portrayed a type that hadn't really existed up to that point. There had always been the evil, confident tech billionaire that's totally cool, but we had never seen the ones that were so openly. There is something so tragic and almost sympathetic about Elon, he's the kid whose dad owns the rec center, and he wants to be invited there to play foosball, and he knows he can just walk in but no one has ever invited him there, and that's what he wants. And Lex, the fact that he's friends with his farm boy who is actually kind of sure of himself, or at least happy, and it's just very weird and kind of eerie to rewatch those episodes and go, this is Elon before we knew what Elon was.
It's like you want to like him and you really think you like him, and then something else happens.
Well, you want to like him, but then you realize you have to think you have to make him think he's awesome every second of his life, or he will turn on you and burn the world down. It is so amazing.
Thank you, I think.
I don't want to talk about Elon Musk. The next day, Clark heads to the Talon to find out that Lana has failed at the one thing she was supposed to do, keeping Victor there.
Mm-hmm.
This forces Clark to super speed out of there and get into Syntechnics' operating room in time to take out the doctors and save Victor. The two make their escape with a classic superhero dismount from the roof of the building. How did Clark know where they were / the location of the experiment room?
Because I don't know. Syntechnics, he probably knew that's where Victor was to begin with.
He knew about Syntechnics,
so maybe he just assumed they got him, and then they
printed out MapQuest directions.
Yeah, he probably was like, "I'm going to Syntechnics."
Yeah,
but he didn't go to her house.
I'm going to
first.
the storage facility.
He didn't go to Catherine's house first, though. That would be the first stop. They should have had him super speed there for a moment, look, and go, "Oh, he's in trouble. He's probably at Syntechnics." That would have told the story. And since he was working that day, Victor, they could have had just Tom show up. Super speed there, look at it, and they would have got that, but they didn't because Tom was like, "I'm not working for one freaking super speed."
Clark makes another heated visit to Lex in his office and calls bullshit on his
bullshit Lex
naivete this time. Clark takes Victor at his word and claims that Lex is more aware of the evil experiments going on at Luthor Corp than he pretends to be.
For the first time in the series, maybe Lex leaves his office with Clark inside, not vice versa.
He just leaves him there.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust him in my office.
Back on the farm, Clark shows up for his send-off with Victor and brings a surprise as his girlfriend Catherine gets reunited with her dead bionic boyfriend. Clark and Lana look on from the sidelines.
The episode winds to a close with Martha reviewing the blackmail footage from the warehouse before hiding it as Lionel pays a visit to tell her the problem is gone. Lionel warns, however, that any relationship with him could be bad for her political career. Martha tells her she won't turn her back on a friend, even though her late husband hated this friend, and he was the last one to see him alive.
We then get a classic Lana and Clark barn scene where she beats around the bush for him to tell her the truth, and he acts like there's nothing more to share.
I love you. Of course, I'll always love you.
I loved you, and I'm always going to love you.
I'm always going to love you, girl.
What about now?
I'm going to love you. Girl, you know it's true. For years, I have lied to you. Girl, I can't explain my superpowers here when I... Sorry, that's Milli Vanilli.
The episode ends with another classic, a silent operatic Lionel Luther scene as we see him paying off the man behind blackmailing Martha to get access to the security footage. Not only does he claim that the secret is safe with him, but he also calls Clark Kal-El.
So does that mean Lionel retained all the knowledge when he got blasted by the stone, or that he remembers being Jor-El in the fortress?
Perchance.
Closing thoughts. Do we think Lionel will actually be good or use this information for his own gain?
Oh, he'll be good.
For his own gain, I'm thinking. When will Lex fully take off the mask and embrace being a bad guy to Clark? Why hide it anymore? Because I think he's still thinking the things that he's doing are for the better.
Yeah.
And, I think that's how certain people think. Like, I'm doing a service here. But they're not. I don't know. Were you surprised to learn that Clark and Lana are still boyfriend and girlfriend? I don't think they are anymore.
They are.
I was surprised.
They are?
Yeah.
Interesting things of note.
So yes is the answer.
Fact check. During filming of this episode, Tom got sick and production was halted for 4 days while he recovered. Did you remember that, Tom?
I don't think that's true.
I remember you getting sick once and you were gone for a couple days. This might have been it.
Yeah, season 1, and then I missed. Oh, this might have been when I had the flu. Yeah, and I was only drinking like Frappuccinos for like 4 days. Yeah, this would have been it.
Jeez.
I only got fake sick once when I tried to renegotiate my contract and didn't show up for a couple of days. I had a migraine because they can't explain migraines. You can just say you have one and they have no proof that you don't.
How'd that work out?
Eventually it worked out, but it wasn't pleasant. It was wasn't fun. They were nasty. When Clark uses his X-ray vision on Victor, his face looks like the comic Cyborg. Think of a time recently when you didn't feel like you could be your full self, like you were hiding behind a mask. October is the season for wearing masks and costumes, but some of us feel like we wear a mask and hide more often than we want to, at work, in social settings, around our family. Therapy can help you learn to accept all parts of yourself so you can take off the mask, because masks should be for Halloween fun, not for our emotions. Therapy is helpful for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself. It isn't just for those who experience major trauma. It's for everyone. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapist anytime for no additional charge. And I think a lot of people are afraid to use it because they're like, what if I don't like my therapist? It's going to be weird. It's not. You could change your therapist like that. Visit BetterHelp.com/talkville today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Talkville. Brian's got his Talkville shirt on. He's got pictures of Smallville behind him. Brian, welcome to Talkville.
Are you in your bedroom?
No, I'm in my billiards room, actually.
Your billiard room. Where'd you get that cape?
Yeah, and ironically, I'm looking at a picture of a movie poster of Pool Hall Junkies that I had signed by you, Michael.
Dude, nice. I was saying, you look so familiar. I was like, I've met you, and I have.
I was about to say, I've seen you guys multiple times at cons, but most of the time I'm in my Christopher Reeve Superman cosplay.
Oh,
this is like the first time or maybe second time you've seen me just as Brian, so it was good to see you guys again. And you too, Ryan.
I love it. Let me ask you. What is it about? I asked this question, but what is it about, or what was it about Smallville that kind of got you dialed in and gave you this, like, why did you watch it?
Well, obviously, big Superman fan. I was a big fan of the Christopher Reeve movies because that's what I grew up on. So when I saw the commercial for Smallville, it was going to be like when Clarky's a teenager. I was like, that's really cool because you really didn't see a lot of that. Jeff East played the young Clark in the first Superman film, but you don't really see a lot of that time frame. So now you get the time frame of, you get time to tell that story of how he matures and uses his abilities. And then couple that with, Clark and Lex are going to be friends at the very beginning. I'm like, ooh, this is going to be interesting because how do you go from them being friends and the end of the story?
Yes.
It's like Obi-Wan and Anakin Skywalker in the prequels. They're friends, but the end, but you don't know how they get there.
And you don't want them to be enemies, hopefully.
Exactly. As soon as you start seeing the Easter eggs, in certain episodes, you're like, ooh, I see that. So that's why I've told you guys in person, and I'll say this on the podcast, behind the films, in my opinion, Smallville is the best iteration of the Superman lore in live action, right behind the films. And that is why you two and Erica, which are the top three for Superman lore, have a gift from me that corresponds to your characters from the original film. So, Michael, I gave you that replica kryptonite necklace.
Yep.
That you have. Erica has a replica newspaper from the Daily Planet that says, I spent the night with Superman. And Tom, you have a replica cape made from the same company that made my costume.
That's right.
To the exact same dimensions of Christopher Reeves' cape.
You're a mensch. You're a good dude, Brian. How did you feel about CYBORG? Was it an episode you could forget? Was it something you liked?
I really liked CYBORG because you have now another DC lore character coming in. We already had Aquaman this year.
Yeah.
So now we get CYBORG. And I always love it when Clark gets to interact with somebody and, in a sense, be himself. Like, he doesn't have to be guarded. He doesn't have to lie to them. It's like, hey, what can you do? Hey, how can you do that? So they're both going back and forth like, all right, you're different. I need to figure out how you're different. But it's interesting with Lana because now she's seeing, at the end scene with CYBORG, with Victor and Catherine, what she wants her and Clark to be. And she knows she can't have it. And Clark knows he can't have it. So I think that aspect of it, then you got the Lionel stuff with going behind the scenes. And I don't know about you guys, but that was the best Lionel ending to an episode ever with the opera and everything else. I mean, that's a typical Lionel ending.
Yeah, it was really
in
good.
The barn there when he's reunited with Catherine and Lana and Clark are looking at each other. Clark goes, listen, it's not the same. He's a cyborg. I'm an alien. You'd never understand that. But she would.
Oh,
she would.
So yeah, so it was interesting how they played up on that.
That's awesome. Well, listen, man. Are you going to New Jersey for the Smallville Creation Con?
Well, unfortunately, I can't because my cousin is getting married that weekend. So I will say this. I've been to Smallville nights when you guys came to Ohio. So to me, that's kind of like the second best thing.
Yeah.
Every time I see people at cons, if they're wearing a Smallville shirt or anything Superman, I'm like, if you guys can go to Smallville nights, if it's in the budget, go to it because it's worth every penny. I always hype that up. And then I tell the funny story where Tom Welling rickrolled me when I was there.
Yep.
What?
All right. So he remembers this, but
yeah.
For those who haven't been to Smallville nights, at the very end, there's two microphones and everybody, lines up and they say the line, "You're right about me all along, Mr. Kent. I am the villain of the story." So here I show up to the microphone, full Superman cosplay, say the line thinking I am done. So I walk away and Tom's like, hold on a second. I'm like, huh? And he goes, I want you to say the line again, but say it like Batman.
That's right.
I remember that.
I'm sitting there like, really? Dressed like this?
Yeah.
Tom's laughing. Mike, you're laughing. The whole room's laughing. I'm laughing. So then I try to do my best Christian Bale Batman voice.
You're right about me all
and walk
along,
away
Mr.
and I
Kent.
see him the next day. I'm like, that was funny. I'll give you that one. That was good.
Thanks.
We love you. Welcome. Thanks for being a patron. Thanks for supporting the podcast.
Oh, one thing. This is going to air on my birthday.
I love it.
Happy birthday.
See you guys.
See you, buddy.
That's fun.
Okay, we're going to go to the hotline here. Patron privilege first, patreon.com/talkville.
Hey guys, Leah here in California. I'm calling about episode 15, Cyborg. And I'm wondering, in the scene where Clark confronts Lex towards the end of the episode, it feels like a defining moment in y'all's relationship. So how are you feeling about each other at this point as characters? What's going on there underneath? Also, thank you so much for Smallville Nights. That was super fun. So thank you.
I love you. You're so fun. It's so fun to see everybody interact. I think that my guess is they both still have feelings for each other, and there's a lot of hurt under there. And the friendship, they know it's fading, but they're hoping something can bring them back. But at this point, it's not looking likely. Tom?
I would just say untrustworthy.
Yes, untrustworthy. Here's Jennifer.
Hello. This question is for episode 15, Cyborg. Always enjoyed seeing Lee Thompson Young. But in this episode, we see that Lex fully embodies the usual villain mindset of the end justifies the means. So when playing the villain, do you empathize with them and play it as if you are sincerely trying to do the right thing no matter what it takes to get there? Or do you play it maniacal and that you know you're not doing something good, but you don't care. You just want that power at any cost?
Good question. I don't think so. I think that Lex is always trying to do what he thinks is right. And he doesn't think maniacally and being evil and I'm going to get back at people. I think that he is in his own way trying to,
Except for that Aquaman torture. That was like just pure evil.
He also says in this episode, he says it comes at a cost. The truth comes at a cost. So.
But I don't think he's maniacal yet. I don't think he's doing things to be evil.
Hi, this is Natalie from Michigan. I know you guys have previously mentioned that you didn't know a whole lot about comic books or a lot of the stories. So I'm just curious, when you guys got the script, did you guys know who Cyborg was, or did they give you kind of any context as to who he was? Thanks, guys. Love the podcast.
Thanks, Natalie. No idea. I had no clue. I was like, Cyborg? What the hell's Cyborg? You got some Freak of the Week? They're like, no, it's comic book. I'm like,
I don't know how many companies I own.
Cyborg. Is that
Michael, did you remember him? Because you did like the Justice League cartoon, right? Wasn't he a guy?
I didn't remember a cyborg. I thought he was that, he got bar mitzvah with me, but that was Cyborg.
Justice League Ultimate? Is that
Cyberger. Norman Cyborg. Yes, I would like to read this part of the Torah. My name is Norman Cyborg. Here's Amerigo. I'm an idiot.
Hey, it's patron Americo Garcia from Medieval, Texas. If you guys could become part cyborg and extend your lives by doing so, would you do it or why not? Thanks, guys. Goodbye.
That's a good question. My friend Tom always says, I'm going to live forever. I'm like, how? He's like, they're coming out with they're going to put my head on a robot's body and I'll be able to live forever. And I think there's some truth to that. I think eventually they'll be able to put it'll still be our thoughts, our minds on a healthy body or, some kind of robot or, I think that will happen. I don't think it's that far fetched. So
I agree.
Yeah. Matt, I hope it happens soon.
Do you really?
I need a new body now.
Hey, this is Matt from Sacramento. Now, Michael, I loved at the end, if I'm using a modern day term, I loved how your character just gaslit Tom into thinking that he was on the same side. I'd love to know, when you are reading a script like this, is it fun to kind of become more villainous at this point? Because certainly I feel like this episode was a very, very big turning point for Lex kind of as he goes down that dark path. Thanks, guys.
I play it as though I believe everything I'm saying. And I'm doing it for a better good or a better, what would you say? I'm doing it for
greater good.
A greater good. Yeah, I do. I think that when I'm reading these lines, I'm believing what I'm saying. And I think that's what Lex is about. He believes what he says. I mean, sometimes he hides things, but again, for a greater good. Here we go with Martin. Martin.
Hello, my name is Martin. Allison Mack mentioned briefly enjoying working with Lee Thompson Young. I was curious as to any thoughts the rest of the cast would have to share about Lee. What was he like? How was it working with him? Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Martin. We already talked about that earlier. We all really loved him, admired him. I was so devastated when he died. I just felt so bad. So yeah, it sucks. Shane.
Hey guys, this is Shane from Michigan. I love the fact that Victor he was using a lot of technical terms to explain his biology, and then all of a sudden he just drops in the term goo. I love his interesting choice, and it's funny as hell. I just love the fact that it kind of portrays that even the smartest person in the room sometimes has to resort to the bottom tier terms.
Well, he's still a dude.
Anyway, thanks, guys. Bye.
Shane, he's still a dude. He's got to use goo every once in a while.
I mean, the last thing he remembers is, I think coming home from a football game and getting in a car accident. I mean, it's been a couple of years.
Yeah, Jack.
He's a high school kid.
Goo.
Maybe that's what the scientists called it. We're going to put some goo inside your body.
Oh, Jack.
Hey, this is Jack from Central Illinois. I've been watching along with you guys because I wasn't born until season 4. Anyway, my question is, were there any other superheroes or supervillains from the comics that you wish were on the show that didn't make it?
Well, Tom wanted Batman on the show.
Bruce Wayne or something, yeah, for sure.
That would have been cool. I can't think of anybody else. I would have liked Gene Hackman. Like my grandfather comes in. Text, Kyle. Tom, with the introduction of now 3 different Justice League members, were you tipped off on the idea of some kind of spin-off storyline for the Justice League in later episodes?
No, I never got any tips off.
No, he was ticked off. Okay, Rosenbaum rating system. We'll start with Ryan.
One rating from me.
1 rose.
1 rose
from Ryan Tejas. Tom Welling.
1.5.
I'm going to give it 1.5 because his performance and a lot of stuff was going on. I kind of liked it. The death and save count, how many people got saved and how many died. 1 dead. Rest in peace, Dr. Hong. 2 saved. Clark saves Victor twice. Through 15 episodes, 29 dead, 30 saved. Series 165 dead, 177 saved. And now it's time for Ryan's favorite scene.
I forgot about that. No, I didn't.
That's a tough one.
We're going to go scene 1.
What happens?
Introducing Cyborg in the lab and his escape.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Scene 2. Lex doing his evil moment at the chair. Scene 3. The little opera montage.
Tom?
I mean, how do you got to go with a montage every time.
No.
You didn't go with the opera montage?
No, went with Lex's evil scene again.
You did?
Yeah.
You didn't even put on there the
Martha or Lionel, nothing.
Yeah.
No, because I wanted
We both lost.
Yeah.
We never both lose.
Well.
I guess Ryan wins.
Well.
All right. That's it for the episode. Stick around next week as we get very sleepy.
Ryan's on the board.
We get very sleepy and talk about season 5, episode 16, Hypnotic. Let's take the discussion online. Let us know your thoughts on the episode on our socials at Talkville Podcast or Talkville Pod. Serve the support by joining patreon.com/Talkville. If you want more information like the merch from the show or a hotline, you can find all that in the description. I couldn't get that out. And remember, folks,
always hold on to Smallville.
And we can't do this show without our top tier patrons or our patrons in general, but our top tiers really give back, and we want to read out their names. So Tommy, let's do this. Patreon.com/Talkville. Leanne P, Raj C, Santiago M, ThomasTomTurner, Shane W, Sophie M, BetsyD, Abhi P, Rae H, KarenApple M, 99 more, Leilani N, Brett G, always hold on to Smallville, Estevan G, Charlie T.
I just wanted to say a quick thing that not only can we can't do this without our patrons, but we can't do this without Bryce.
Oh, yeah.
We can't do this without Ryan, and I can't do this without you, Michael. So just really quick. So
thanks, Tom.
Charlie T, thank you. We just saw you. Always great seeing you. Garrett W, Bob K, Kyle H, Tom N, Jason W, Osama A, who we just saw.
Lana rhymes with banana. W, Nancy D, Brian G, YVR, Grips, Amanda R, Teddy127, Michael P, Ryan R, Jordan M, Randy B, Craig G, Jarrell, Heather, and Greg. Love them.
Love them.
I made Talkville say butts.
You know, I saw Greg the other day at a con without Heather, and it was weird.
But she was there. He was just getting.
I know, but it was weird. I'm like, Greg, Greg's not complete without Heather.
I know. They need each other. Yes.
Yeah, I made Talkville say butts. We met him. Brian H, Eric K, Kristen B, Jeff, and Nan Weber. Are you new?
I think they might be.
Darth Achilles, Finky, Early is on time. Miss Clark, Kent, damn, who's that? Jeanette E, Deadvid, General Zod, Theodore, Jim and J, Doug R, Carlos C, Tommy Z Boston, we just saw him, Kem the Limerick guy, Corey L, Mr. Home Arcade, Claire M, D Brown, Karen here, M, Jules M, Eldon Supremo, just saw him, Leslie V.
Old Leslie V. Brian P. McBurts. Saw McBurts. Ginger Moose. Christoph S. Michelle M. Amanda Lynn. Jessica B. Michael Knight Rider. Michael Kane Doesn't Blink. Saw him. Hello. Sebastian F. Wolfie was there. Matthew and Lincoln B. Breyer. Charlene A. Marion Louise L. C. Geo. Cindy C. Nikki Shannon. Fo Fannin.
Tina E. Matt Maverick. Get it? Jen T. Just saw her. Randy S. Cassie B. By the way, Chicago next year, Smallville Con. We're going to do it. This is going to air later, but we just did a Smallville only event, so we're going to continue.
It was amazing. So hopefully it will be even bigger.
Cassie B, Brad A, Felicia R, I like to call her Felisa, and she doesn't like that. Danny Moore, Mo Mirabel, JS, Mary K, Rachel D, Steve, and Nate Danger.
When you're rich, you aren't crazy or eccentric. Rosenbaum for Sammy Sharman. Carrie Ann, the Alexander Castle, Daryl E, Jenny B76, Anna B, Monica T, Jeffrey K, Pip Kenobi, Katja C, previously on Smallville, Keith B, Cookie K, the patron saint of Smallville, Libertaria, Danny Z from Cleveland, Biagio C, Cal L, 38, Felicia B, The Salty Ham, Murphy C, David L.
Madison H, Mika J, Kelowna A, Zeb R, The Wicked Stepdads, my pups, Lex, Shelby, Kara. Cool. Natalia, Dr. Jace EA. Thanks for making this so easy, guys, with your handles. This is great.
Oh, yeah. Dr. Jace always does that to us.
The phrase that pays. Dr. G and Dr. T. That's a good relationship. Mm-hmm. Krypton Knight, Brandon C, and Ned L.
Flirtatious B, Per 6, Kurgan K, Naman L, Smallville for Life, Bobby B, Bryce R, Reese S, Kara C, Pico Delgado, Kai W, J Burke, Kendrick F, Lindsay and Brooke, CC Storm, Stacy L, Ashley M, Go Gazal, Melanie P, Starla left you speechless in Portland. We love you. Couldn't do this without you, and we'll see you next week.